Well, the Great Flattening is in full effect. It's been there for a while. Wait, you've heard of the Great Flattening, right? Not, we're going to get into it here. Businesses over the last, let's say 3 years, 3.5 years, have had to make some very significant decisions about the makeup of their business, kind of who their customers are, but also their employee mix. That has been in a constant state of flux. And you've seen where businesses have made the decision that they are going to continue to remove middle managers. And that is the Great Flattening, as in flattening of the organizations. Not as many middle managers, which means more direct reports for whoever you happen to be in senior management here. While that has saved some money for businesses, and I think we've talked about that at length on this channel, the long-term effects of stripping out your middle managers, I don't really think the business world is prepared for just how challenging it's going to be for folks to be in senior leadership positions in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years. I just don't think they're ready for it. Now, for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach. I work out of West Michigan, around the country. I come here on YouTube and just share information that I share with my clients and what we're talking about. And currently, we are in deep discussion about what organizations, especially if, I work with small, medium-sized businesses to help them run, much better. And we are in those deep conversations about what the actual organizational structure needs to look like in order to be effective. Now, I'm out here walking, just FYI, this is out in basically behind my house. I got this great area, this whole wide open field that is available for people just to enjoy. Love being up here in northern Michigan. We got all this great outdoors. It's great. Anyways, so one of the troubles that we're running into is balancing what that workload looks like for folks, right? Like, that's one of the bigger issues is like, okay, how do we make sure that we don't have too many people in management? And how do we also make sure that we, have enough, right? We don't short ourselves. What we're finding, and this is just through experimentation, is that folks immediately went to think, okay, senior VPs, VPs, directors, etc., we're just going to increase the number of direct reports that they have. We are going to then take a look at our entry-level positions and really, frankly, just see what we can AI out of this, right, with large language models. That's happened across the board. Now, with my clients, what we did is we took a look at, did the exact same look, like we went through that exact same exercise. That's the phrase I want to use. Exact same exercise where we took a look at what made sense for us. And instead of removing middle managers, we started with what can we use to help our entry-level folks. We didn't want to get rid of our entry-level people per se. What we wanted to do is use AI to free them up from the menial tasks, right? To help them do better at their actual work that you want people doing. Now, when we took a look at middle managers, because that was next on the list, what we found when we looked at the reasons that we even had middle management, and it's part of the actual justification for all these positions within an organization. Why does it actually exist? What's it there for? Well, in the case of the clients that I work with, middle managers are there for training. They're there to learn how to lead, how to make decisions in a business, manage personnel, right? They're the ones that are going to be doing the hiring and the firing. All of the things that senior management needs to have basically figured out, we use it as a place for them to practice and learn to get better at those things. So when we're looking at the budget, and this is where all this is leading to, we're looking at the budget, we actually look at middle management and the way that we budget for them and forecast the needs and everything from it's a 60-40 split. 60% is the actual workload required, number of people they have to manage, output that has to happen. And 40% is training. We actually have their budget for those personnel falls under training. And when businesses look at it that way, you're investing in the future because you're going to have people who are going to leave. They're going to have, you need to have some redundancy. And when businesses look at it that way, they are more likely, in my experience, more likely to make decisions that are long-term, like longer horizon than what we're dealing with right now. And what we're seeing now is the opposite of that. We are seeing folks that are looking at, their middle management as unnecessary expense that they can just get rid of to free them up. And this is where the money's going, in case you guys didn't know about this. They are using that excess capital that they're saving to fund AI, to fund their ability for new computer systems. They're doing everything that they're doing has nothing to do on the savings as far as for maybe hiring new people for certain spots. It is 100% done in order to have more capital come back to the business, which is then either going into equipment, or for a lot of this, it's going into bonuses for senior executives. That's one of the things that we're running into. So what do I think is going to happen from all this? Well, I can tell you right now that my biggest concern, my biggest thing that I'm expecting to see from this is going to be these companies that are making these short-term choices, right? Where they are intentionally not looking at the future, not investing in the future. They're going to be the companies that are going to get bought out by those folks that are spending time and investing in their middle management. These are the folk and the companies that are spending time in developing their, their overall bench, I think is the best way to say it. So the flattening of corporate America is terrible. It's awful. It's something that just shouldn't be happening. However, there's not much we can do about it. So what am I talking to my clients about? Again, we mentioned, we're like, hey, before we get rid of anyone, before we make any of those decisions, we really want to make sure that we are not gutting ourselves for 3 to 5 years down the road. And if it means we got to lose a little money right now or not have profits as high right now, we want to make those decisions, right? Future state stuff. Now, what am I talking about with employees? And this is more likely for a lot of you who are watching. Your responsibility as an employee is to make sure you are valuable. Now, nobody likes to hear that. I exist as a person, therefore, and I do work, so I should be viewed as taken care of, right? The company should just understand. It doesn't work that way, guys. It has never worked that way, and it will never work that way. You have a responsibility to be as valuable to the company as possible. And how do you do that? You need to be able to quantify and qualify how your work is not only making things better now, but are going to make things even better in the future, right? Through the work you're doing now and development, future state type stuff, okay? That's what I'm talking to everybody I know that is an employee. It's like, listen, no one owes you your job. You have to constantly prove the work that you're doing is worth the cost that the company's paying, okay? I don't like it, not a big fan of it, but that's just the way life is, okay? So with that, hopefully I earned you guys a subscription today. Again, I come here live pretty consistently, almost every day. Been a little bit short lately. I've had some stuff, been looking at buying a new building, expanding my business, things like that. But I come here pretty consistently. So hopefully I earned your subscription today. Take care, folks. We'll see you next time.